Hey guys, time to go on an adventure. I'm going to go to Thailand. I'm going to go to Chiang Mai. How about you, Mike?
I guess I'll have to go with you since that's what the article is all about today. I think we're all going, but not for real. We're going in our imaginations.
Yes.
And maybe some of you out there, in fact, I bet quite a few of you out there have been to Thailand. Chiang Mai, of course, is the mountain city of the Thailand in kind of the northern part of the country, away from the beaches and the islands that a lot of people will also be familiar with. And we were there yesterday in our article, visiting some ancient temples, checking out some pagodas and beautiful golden towers, and doing a little bit of shopping, and we wrapped it all up with an elephant spa, basically.
And that is a fun way to start a vacation, and we're going to continue on with our vacation today, but first let's listen to the article through one time. As the moon casts its silvery glow over Thailand in November, the country comes alive with Loy Krathong Sai, also known as the Thai Festival of Lights. It's a magical event that lights up the night sky and waterways of Thailand. The exact beginnings of this festival are a mystery. Some believe it began as a way to pay respect to the water spirits, while others see it as a time to float away bad luck and misfortune. During this spectacular festival, people gather by rivers, lakes, and canals to launch small floating baskets called krathong onto the water. These handmade floats are typically crafted from banana leaves and are decorated with flowers, candles, and incense sticks. Participants often make a wish as they release their krathong, hoping for good luck and prosperity in the coming year. As the krathong drift away, the waterways sparkle with thousands of twinkling lights. Tourists are welcome to join in the festivities, either by purchasing krathong from local vendors or by attending workshops to make their own. In northern Thailand, particularly Chiang Mai, Loy Krathong Sai coincides with the Iping Lantern Festival. Marking the end of the rainy season, Iping is a celebration filled with hope. As krathong illuminate the waterways, thousands of paper lanterns are released into the night sky, carrying people's wishes with them. This unique blend of festivals transforms the landscape into a mesmerizing spectacle of light. For travelers seeking an unforgettable cultural experience, Chiang Mai is a treasure trove waiting to be explored. With its rich cultural heritage and endless activities, Chiang Mai promises a journey that will leave you yearning to return. I love it when a story starts out with this description of scenery or you get this sense of what you're looking around and seeing, and that's what we do here with As the Moon Casts Its Silvery Glow over Thailand in November, the country comes alive with Loy Krathong Sai, also known as the Thai Festival of Lights. So you feel like you're just kind of looking at the moon. You know that the Loy Krathong Sai is on the water, so you've got water there. As you've mentioned, Mike, we're in the mountains, so this seems like it's going to be a very beautiful scenery to look out at. So now we know Loy Krathong Sai is also the Thai Festival of Lights, so that's another name for it. I also happen to know that sometimes it's been seen as being a way to thank the goddess of water and river, and it can also be seen as a Buddhist celebration. So some folks don't really know where it comes from. We're going to come to that in a second, actually. We'll get to that. It says, it's a magical event that lights up the night sky and waterways of Thailand. So it's an incredibly magical event. It's something that takes your breath away when you see all these lights that are going through in the water, and by happenstance too, the night sky and the waterways. The waterways are the different rivers and canals and the passages of water that go through that area of Thailand.
Very, very cool. I'm kind of imagining this and then thinking, a few months later, you could come here to Taiwan and you could do the sky lantern thing in our lantern festival. Wouldn't that be a wonderful sort of comparison, or to use a fancy English word, a juxtaposition, kind of looking at one thing and another thing and seeing how they're different, seeing how they're similar, seeing how they are both kind of magical in their own unique ways. And that's a pretty good word to use for both sky lanterns here in Taiwan and also these water lanterns in Thailand. It's a magical event that lights up the night sky and waterways of Thailand. Waterways is a good word for basically rivers, of course, streams, lakes, I imagine, would be included in waterways, as well as canals, those kind of man-made sort of rivers or water roads that sometimes people build. If we think of Venice, of course, it's famous
Thailand
for its
too.
canals, and Thailand as well. So these waterways, basically a body of water that's not out on the ocean, that kind of thing. So rivers, canals, and the like. It says the exact beginnings of this festival are a mystery. All right, so no one really knows when, where, why, who started it. It's been around for a very long time, and, maybe it was one of those things that was more of a temple festival, and then tourists discovered it, and it became kind of a cool way to attract people and, get people to come to town and spend some money or something like that. But it probably goes back many years, although it might have changed in its form and meaning and how important it is and stuff like that over time. Some believe it began as a way to pay respect to the water spirits. So very much a religious festival when people believed that there were water spirits or sort of gods or, powerful beings from another world, from heaven or wherever, that kind of controlled the water. If you were a sailor, a fisherman, you might, pray to the water spirits to protect you. While others see it as a time to float away bad luck and misfortune. That might be kind of the modern tradition or the modern interpretation of this festival. Why are we doing this at night, putting lanterns on the water? Oh, it helps to float away bad luck and misfortune. That's kind of like sky lanterns, right? Yeah. Don't you write your dreams or your hopes or your fears or worries?
Firecrackers at Chinese New Year.
Exactly, and it kind of floats away. It takes it away. It gives you a, peace of mind and peace in your heart. You don't want this bad luck and misfortune, so you kind of watch it float away on the river, and suddenly, a sense of calm and peace and safety comes over you, because no one likes bad luck, right? We don't want to have bad luck and have sort of random bad things happen in our lives. Misfortune, bad luck, kind of the same thing, right? When you're, have your lucky thing, your lucky coin in your pocket, when you're heading to your exam, you're trying to avoid bad luck or misfortune, right? Bad fortune, bad luck, in other words. And then it says, during this spectacular festival, people gather by rivers, lakes, and canals to launch small floating baskets called krathong, or krathong, onto the water. Again, apologies for our terrible Thai pronunciation. But yes, there I mentioned some of those different types of waterways, rivers, lakes, and canals. Canals, as I said, are man-made rivers. That's one way to think of it. Or roads made of water. That's another way to think of it. So these are dug by people, usually connecting lakes that don't have a river, or a river that boats can go on. Maybe if there's just a shallow stream connecting a couple of rivers or lakes, and people are like, hey, we could build this into a large network of waterways. We could move things, back in the old days before they had trains and whatnot. They could build canals and move large goods, heavy products in large amounts from one place to another, connecting rivers and waterways and lakes and whatnot together. So yes, Venice, think of canals. They have canals in parts of Miami, I think, as well. And even in England and France. But as I said, before the coming of the railways, they had many canals. I think you can actually travel by canal from London to Birmingham in England, even now, although it takes like 3 weeks because you can only go like 5 miles an hour on the canals.
Chill on a boat.
So these are not places to take your power boat and go water skiing. They're usually quite narrow, but it's a nice peaceful way to travel on a slow boat, or a nice place to put your floating lantern there. So how do we make these lanterns?
Well, we're going to talk about that in just a second, but before we get into that, why don't we take a break now and listen to our Chinese teacher?
Hello everyone, 我是派老师，今天讲解的是10月20号 Unit 10 A November to Remember in Chiang Mai Day 2。这个单元介绍的是泰国清迈。第二天内容把重点放在泰国的水灯节。事实上，这并不是清迈这座城市唯一独有的节日哦。泰国首都曼谷、大城素可泰，其他的城市其实也会在佛历12月15号月圆的时候有相关的庆祝活动。在清迈很特别的是，他们会同时庆祝另外一个节日是天灯节。所以到了清迈，你除了看到有人在水面上释放水灯，那他们也会释放天灯。好，我们一起来看学习重点吧。请同学看到第一段的第一个句子，我们先看词语搭配，就是月光洒在什么地方。好，As the moon casts its silvery glow over Thailand in November. 所以就是这个月光洒下银辉，可以这样子说。那 the country comes alive， 那当然我们知道说国家这种抽象的概念，它怎么活过来啊？所以我们所指的当然是整个国家会很热闹。The country comes alive with， 所以在这个节日的时候，整个国家都会很热闹。再来，我们请看到后面的句子2、3、4，这里进一步的去说明，那这个水灯节他们在做什么？那为什么会有这样子的庆祝的活动？释放水灯呢？其中有一个理由，看到第4个句子，很多人认为水灯节的时候呢，是要送走厄运 ，float away bad luck and misfortune。好，再来，请看到第2段的第一个句子，在不定词后面 ，to launch small floating baskets。好，要请同学特别注意的这个 launch， 其实啊，我们常说船造好了以后，你要把它放到河里面，或者放到海里面去让它行驶。其实我们动词用的就是 launch a boat， right？ 那在这里你要把这个灯笼放到水面上，让它去漂流，其实也是用动词这个 launch 这个字。
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so how do we make these lanterns? These handmade floats are typically crafted from banana leaves. So those are pretty good-sized leaves if you've ever seen a banana tree, or if you've ever torn off a banana leaf yourself. And then they are decorated with flowers, candles, and incense sticks. So with a banana leaf, I'm sure you're going to fold it into different shapes that allow it to look a little bit more like a boat. And it's going to make it smaller, of course, than the big banana leaf that you pull off the tree. And that will probably not be, or I guess it's not a tree, a plant, would not be really good to float on the water that way. You have to make it more water-worthy. So you decorate it with your flowers, you decorate it with candles, and you decorate it with incense sticks. And incense sticks are those little cones or sticks with powdered, sweet-smelling scents that are then clumped together and made into something that you can burn. So sometimes they're clumped together onto sticks and it's held together with some sort of a fastener. And with the cones, they're shaped into cone shapes, and then you'll stick them into maybe an incense pot and you will burn it from there. Sometimes they'll leave it as powder and you can burn it. Sometimes they have nice long spiral sticks that you can burn. Fun word with this word incense is that if you say incense, it becomes a verb that means to make extremely angry. So the people who take part, the participants, often make a wish as they release their krathong, hoping for good luck and prosperity in the coming year. So very much as Mike was mentioning earlier, we're getting rid of misfortune. And when you get rid of misfortune, you're trying to welcome in the good things. So you're hoping for good luck and you're hoping for prosperity. Prosperity being a period or a state of being, well, in good fortune, having enough, having more than enough. If you're very prosperous, then you're doing well. You have enough money in your life. You have a nice house. You have, a good car that you're driving. You have enough clothes to wear. You have enough money, extra money to go out and buy the things you want. That's a sense of prosperity. So you're hoping for some prosperity in the coming year. As the krathong drift away, the waterways sparkle with thousands of twinkling lights. So the krathong go off, and then when you set them in the water, you launch them, as we talked about yesterday. And after you launch them, after you set them on the water, the water current kind of drags them away. So they drift away. And when you drift away, you don't go necessarily in an exact direction. You're following something. You might be following an air current. And if you're a balloon, you're drifting away along the air currents. If you are in the water, then you're drifting away along the water currents. The waterways sparkle, so they glitter and glow and shine with thousands of twinkling lights. When I think of the word sparkle, I think of sparklers, which are a fun thing to do on 4th of July. If you're a kid, you're not setting off big fireworks. You get the little sparklers where you can go and write your name, and it shimmers in the sky, and it kind of stays after you draw it. And if you would take a time-lapse photograph of it, you would see, the whole name being written with your sparkler, and you feel very fancy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sparkle and twinkle are pretty similar, right? We're thinking of the stars in the sky at night. They kind of flash and glow and different amounts of intensity with different lights. So it's kind of like on and off very, very quickly. Very nice and very lovely. Tourists are welcome to join in the festivities. Great, either by purchasing krathong from local vendors or by attending workshops to make their own. Again, I think this is quite similar to sky lanterns here in Taiwan. You can go and join in. It's not just for local people or, members of the temple, religious figures. Anyone can join in the fun, the festivities, the party, the enjoyable activities that other people are doing in order to celebrate something. That's what festivities are. It could be very simple and very private, having people over to your house for a birthday cake. That would be your birthday festivities. Or it could be thousands of people going down to watch the fireworks at Taipei 101 and celebrate the new year. Those are festivities too. Activities that people do in order to celebrate or have a good time at certain special times of the year. So people can join in. Anyone can join in, even foreigners, not just for locals. And you can join in several ways. Well, first of all, you can just go and watch. You can just stand there and watch and maybe take pictures and stuff and sort of document it. Or if you want to get a bit more active, you can purchase krathong from local vendors, people who sell stuff. That's what vendors are. Vendor is a word we often use for people who sell stuff in a less formal type of setting, not in necessarily a store or a shop or a mall or a department store, but maybe in a street market, a night market. Maybe people selling things online are also known as vendors. Or if you're selling things kind of wholesale, if you're selling things in large amounts, right? If you own a restaurant, you might go to a meat or vegetable vendor in the morning a couple times a week and buy large amounts of chicken or, vegetables or stuff like that. But basically, it's someone who's selling something, but often in a more informal way, not necessarily like a clerk or a shopkeeper in a store. So they have these local folks there, business people, vendors, selling these pre-made krathong to the tourists. Or if you want to get really into it, you can attend workshops to make your own. They will show you how to fold and twist and turn and do things to banana leaves to make your very own krathong. So you can come home and make one and have it float in your bathtub or something like that. But that would be pretty cool.
It definitely would be. In northern Thailand, particularly Chiang Mai, Loy Krathong Sai coincides with the Ipeng Lantern Festival. So we, as you were mentioning earlier, it'd be really cool if we had those sky lanterns going off at the same time as we had the water. Well, we do here, but only in Chiang Mai and in northern Thailand. This is not all over Thailand. Loy Krathong Sai is the Festival of Lights on the water. That is all over Thailand, but the Ipeng Lantern Festival is really only in northern Thailand. And that coincides with Loy Krathong Sai. So it happens at the same time. It occurs at the same time. The ko kind of hints at it being together. And here we have marking the end of the rainy season. Ipeng is a celebration filled with hope. So much like Loy Krathong Sai, Ipeng is also a celebration for hope or with hope. It's celebrated on the 12th moon of the lunar calendar. And that is exactly the same time as the Loy Krathong Sai, so it really does exactly coincide in northern Thailand. As krathong illuminate the waterways, thousands of paper lanterns are released into the night sky, carrying people's wishes with them. So we have the krathong, the boats, illuminating the waterways. Remember, we have the little candles and the incense burner tip there going off in the waterways. And that illuminates it. It lights it up. Illuminate means to light up. If you feel illuminated, it's like a light bulb has gone off in your brain and you've come to an understanding about something you didn't understand before. So, what an illuminating thought. It makes me understand things much more clearly. Here we're illuminating the waterways. And we're not just illuminating the waterways because thousands of paper lanterns are going off in the sky. They're releasing them, they're launching them, and they're going up in the air. And the wishes are going with them too. So there's lots of good luck and good wishes going everywhere. And that unique blend of festivals transforms the landscape into a mesmerizing spectacle of light. So being able to see these two festivals happening at the same time, coinciding, is just really amazing because it transforms, it changes the landscape. It turns it into a completely different thing. Transformers, if you've ever seen the movie, are those guys who one moment are cars, next moment are giant fighting robots that can save the world or in some cases destroy the world. Here we're transforming the landscape. We're changing the landscape into a mesmerizing spectacle of light. Mesmerizing being something that amazes you and captures your attention and causes you to kind of stare. You might have your mouth open. You might be going, wow. That's something that is mesmerizing you. It's like almost like you've been hypnotized by somebody swinging their watch back and forth. You're just caught. Your attention is caught. And your attention is caught by this spectacle of light, this beautiful and amazing event that is a bunch of light on the water, a bunch of light on the land.
Exactly right. We get the word spectacular, of course, from spectacles. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's a wonderful thing to see with your own eyes. All right, so you'll never forget this. And that's kind of how we wrap things up in our final paragraph here. For travelers seeking an unforgettable cultural experience, Chiang Mai is a treasure trove waiting to be explored. Yeah, a lot of unforgettable things going on here. You're going to see amazing temples. You're going to do cool things. You're going to have a wonderful time shopping as well. We haven't even talked about the food much, have we? I'm sure the food is great too. So this would all be unforgettable. A lot of good memories that you will remember forever as a cultural experience. And Chiang Mai, and I would probably say Thailand in general, is a treasure trove waiting to be explored. A treasure trove, well, it could be a treasure. You know, you find a box buried in the sand filled with a pirate's gold and jewels. That would be a treasure. But often when we say this, we're just kind of talking about a place that is rich with a certain amount of things or a certain thing. There's more than enough. If you're a fan of that, if you're into that, oh, you should go there. You will never run out of cool things to see. It's a treasure trove of whatever. So, you know, if you're a fan of manga and anime, oh, you got to go to Tokyo. You got to go to Asakusa or somewhere like that. It's a treasure trove of manga and anime and cool Japanese cartoon stuff. There's a lot of it there. So it doesn't necessarily have to be valuable in a way. It just has to be, you know, a lot, abundant, more than you would want, and filled with very interesting, wonderful things. With its rich cultural heritage and endless activities, so much to do, and such a rich history and culture, Chiang Mai promises a journey that will leave you yearning to return. As soon as you get home, you'll drop your bags in your apartment or home and you'll go, let's go back to the airport and go back. I'm yearning to return. To yearn is basically to want something in a very intense and powerful way. If you've ever left home for a while, you might yearn to see your family. The feeling of homesickness is a yearning for home and family or something like that. We wouldn't necessarily use it for like, oh my gosh, I'm so thirsty. I'm yearning for a glass of water. It's the same kind of idea, but basically it just means a deep and powerful desire for something. And I think I have a deep and powerful desire to visit Thailand and do some of these things. It's a little late now, but maybe I can plan for next year.
You can get there. You can go.
I can do it.
I think our Chinese teacher would like to go too, so let's listen one time now.
Cool.
再来请同学看到第二段第二个句子，在 be 动词后面 crafted from， 我想同学都很熟悉 make 这个字，那在这里的 crafted 其实就很类似于就是制造没有错，这些灯笼手工的灯笼有很多都是用香蕉的叶子做的刚刚前面已经提到了泰国在佛历12月15号月圆的时候大家都会去庆祝这个水灯节嘛，那这里面就会把这个灯笼里面摆一些清香的花还有香蜡烛甚至于硬币放在这里面对水神做祭拜。那我们再来看第三个句子，我们常常会说前面就讲到释放这个水灯嘛，动词我们用什么呢？ release， 就用 release 这个动词。那再来请同学看到的是第四个句子，当大家都释放了这些水灯以后，整个河道上满满的都是灯笼，那河道看起来特别是在夜晚当中就会闪闪发亮，对不对？这 the waterways sparkle with， 我们用的动词就是 sparkle with， 闪闪发亮。好，再来请同学看到的是第五个句子，那如果外国人我们这些观光客也想要参与，可不可以 可以的 We are welcome to join。 不过那要拿什么来放？有2种做法，一个是 either by purchasing， 好，一个是买现成的，好，另外一个 by or by， 这个 either or 连接了2个选择性。好，另外一个就是 attending workshops， 去参加工作坊，自己来做，别人会教我们怎么做。再来我们看到第3段的第一个句子，主要动词这边，原来啊水灯节在泰国北部，特别是清迈这座城市，水灯节和另外一个节日天灯节，那其实是同一个时候举行的， coincide with， 那就是同时发生的。好，再来请同学特别注意的是第3个句子，那既然放了这个所谓的天灯，那我们就知道水道当然因为这个水面上的灯笼整个照亮了嘛， illuminate 那就是照亮，好，照亮这个水道。那此外呢，这些天灯释放到天空一样，动词我们在用 release， paper lanterns are released into the night sky， 所以夜空呢都是这些天灯。那这上面呢承载着许许多多的人的愿望。再来请看第4个句子哦，我们就知道那这2个节日同时发生，那会有什么样子的结果呢？动词是 transforms， 有没有注意到它的后面加了一个 s， 这就表示主词是第3人称单数。同学会说哪有啊 festivals 是复数，别忘了前面这个 blend 就这2个节日混合在一起，组合在一起嘛，所以 blend 视为第3人称单数。那让这一片土地怎么样呢？ landscape 让这整片土地它怎么样呢？转变成 transform into， 所以后面是变成的样子，就是一片很特别的光景哦，有很多的灯光嘛。那 spectacle 我们通常都指这些令人觉得非常壮观、特别吸引人的景观，那我们把它称为 spectacle。像放烟火，你也可以把这个满天的这个烟火呢，我们就把它称为 spectacle。那形容词就是 spectacular。好，再来我们看到第4段的第一个句子，哇，讲了这么多关于清迈，我们就会说用一个比喻来比喻清迈的话，就发现这是一个宝库啊。Chiang Mai is a treasure trove。 这是一个什么样的宝库呢？有待我们探索的， waiting to be explored。 请同学要特别注意哦，是 explore E-X-P-L-O-R-E-D， 不要把它写成 to be exploited。 如果你拼成 E-X-P-L-O-I-T-E-D， 那意思就差很多了。 exploit 通常呢是有负面的意思，去剥削的意思，它是等我们去探索，而不是去剥削。好，以上呢就是我们对于清迈这个单元第2天内容所做的中文讲解。 See you next time.
All aboard, everybody. It's time for our epic adventure. It is time for us to hit the road and go to Thailand. For English Digest, I'm Leah.
And I'm Mike.
Bye-bye.